They say that with the West wearing out, the logical move is to pack up and head to Dubai. Celebrities echo the chorus, selling shiny new projects as if they were passports to a better life. That pitch, I admit, helped push me to choose Dubai over Los Angeles. After traveling through more than 80 countries, the promise seemed irresistible. An efficient place to live and work, where everything runs smoothly and life is practical. But just below the polished surface, there's a less comfortable storyline. Behind the perfect smiles, the sprouting skyscrapers, and the ruler-straight beaches, there's a fragile city built on sand and on narratives. On YouTube, the picture splits into two frames. On one side, videos expose human rights violations, stories of exploitation and problems that make life there heavy. On the other, influencers' vlogs praise safety, clean streets, shiny cars cruising the avenues, and the lack of income tax as an open invitation to consume. Before we go on, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. That way every new chapter reaches you right on time, and none of this journey slips by unnoticed. Who's right? Curiously, everyone. For those arriving with money, a loyal audience, and brand deals, Dubai works like an oasis. Sea view apartments, light bureaucracy, a community of like-minded expats, and networking at every cafe. Walking downtown means passing, block after block, luxury car dealerships and malls that look brand new. That's no accident. The city was designed as a luxury showcase, a stage where wealth and status parade freely. And it plays this role well. Just look up and you'll see that here, more than almost anywhere else, money writes the script. There's a lot of talk about opportunity, but that's only part of the picture. Every year, Instagram influencers and ambitious young people land in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, drawn by the promise of quick wealth. Most, however, don't reach the top. What happens behind the scenes is far from transparent. Non-disclosure agreements and social stigma silent stories distort numbers and hide failures. Tales circulate that platforms like YouTube tend to avoid. There are cases of models approached by members of the elite with tempting offers, flights, luxury hotels, huge payouts, that in reality demand a steep price to one's dignity. One story describes a party in an isolated mansion where a model got $50,000 to meet the host's demands. In a country where public displays of affection can lead to jail, such rumors set off alarms. Still, burying these stories serves Dubai's future. The city needs to protect its image to keep attracting talent and capital. And its skyscrapers and artificial islands are part of a broader strategy to keep tourism at the center of the world. So far, successfully. And what does this have to do with you? In the race for opportunity, English has become a deal breaker. Without fluency, your career can hit closed doors. Mastering the language boosts competitiveness and can raise your salary by up to 20%. It's gone from a nice-to-have to a real asset, opening doors for travel, work, academia, and so many everyday situations. Dubai often shows up as a modern vacation hotspot, ranking among the 120 most visited cities in the world. But why did the United Arab Emirates invest so heavily to build, in the middle of the desert, a city that never seems to sleep? The answer starts with the engine that once powered the region: oil. For decades, it paid the bills, built infrastructure, and placed the country, and part of the Middle East, among the richest in the world. But that engine is stalling. Reserves are running out and global demand may drop. To avoid being hostage to one resource, the Emirates fast-tracked a plan. Turn Dubai into a hub that can survive the post-oil era. Tourism, finance, logistics, and technology became the new gears. It's a race against time to diversify income and reduce risk before the tap runs dry. Before we go on, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. That way, every new chapter reaches you right on time, and none of this journey slips by unnoticed. History has shown how single-bet economies can collapse. The Mongol Empire grew rich by conquering vast lands and bringing gold, jewels, and brilliant minds to Karakoram, turning a camp into a city. Wealth flowed while the conquest lasted. When the empire fell, the city shrank, and its fortune vanished. Samarkand went through something similar. It thrived at the Timurid peak, then faded. The message is clear. Prosperity built on one pillar shakes at the first tremor. Dubai is trying to write a different story before the storm hits. The ghosts of lost wealth linger in the ruins of the old crumbled palace. once a stage of dazzling prosperity that faded in just a few generations. That echo resonates in Dubai. The city flaunts steel, concrete, and glass in stunning shapes, but little of what's built seems meant to last. Without preservation, much will be handed back to the desert. Why? Let's rewind. Before it became a skyscraper showcase, Dubai was a fishing village known for pearl diving. In the 19th century, it entered the British Protectorate, which lasted until 1971. During that time, local politics and economy were shaped by external interests, much like Singapore and Hong Kong. That connection opened doors, routes, rules, institutions, the foundation to step onto the global map. That's when oil entered the picture and changed everything. The new wealth didn't just sit idle. It funded roads, electricity, water, education, and a modern port that repositioned the emirate on trade routes. But there was strategic thinking. Don't rely on oil alone. So began an aggressive push for diversification that didn't shy away from risk. Free zones came, incentives for financial services, bets on commerce, tourism, and real estate. The government kept investing and communicating with the world, attracting capital, people, and events. In just a few decades, a stretch of desert became a stage for business, leisure, and innovation, with infrastructure ready to host the planet and ambition to keep growing. Before we go on, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. That way, every new chapter reaches you right on time, and none of this journey slips by unnoticed. Dubai's rise wasn't random. A mix of bold strategy and favorable economic winds opened doors for global money and talent. Tax breaks drew in the financial elite, and with cash flowing, leaders played big, building landmarks to put the city on the global map. That's how we got icons like the Burj Khalifa and the artificial islands. Not just postcards, but public statements of ambition, signaling a leap from humble beginnings to endless opportunity. But this leap needed something the region lacked: people. With a small local population, it became clear that money alone couldn't build skyscrapers, bridges, and highways. The answer was large-scale recruitment of foreign workers. Today, about 90% of the UAE's population is immigrants, many from India, Africa, and other developing nations. They weren't fleeing war. They came chasing jobs and paychecks. And here the narrative splits. While influencers show luxury storefronts, these workers' lives tell another story. Research on Gulf construction sites, including Qatar, shows a pattern: isolated, overcrowded housing far from city centers and little comfort. On the job, long shifts and dangerous tasks are common. Between exhausting commutes and risky work, these laborers keep the region's rapid development running. The same shine that draws influencers to Dubai also pulls millions of workers from Nepal, India, Bangladesh, and the Philippines. The pitch seems simple: contract, steady pay, a bed to sleep in, and money to send home. Recruitment agencies sell a stable future, families safe from hardship. But the pandemic exposed how fragile that promise was. In the UAE, companies are supposed to provide food and housing in crises. In practice, that often doesn't happen. Laws exist, but enforcement is weak. Faced with risking their only income, many stay silent. Before we go on, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. That way, every new chapter reaches you right on time, and none of this journey slips by unnoticed. When debts pile up and someone quits, the price is steep. Lost wages, no way home, families left struggling. The sponsorship system, kafala, keeps the power with employers. Without citizenship, these workers have limited labor rights, no guaranteed minimum wage, and depend on their sponsors' goodwill. That's how the people who built the city become invisible. Under the desert sun, they raise skyscrapers that become postcards. But what sustains that skyline? In cramped dorms after long shifts, life is on pause while the city races ahead. And at the top of this story, the Burj Khalifa stands, a symbol of success and also a mirror reflecting what's left out of the frame, waiting for the next chapter. The Burj Khalifa's story isn't just engineering brilliance. It exposes the choices that shaped the city. During construction, labor exploitation complaints surfaced, reports of shockingly low daily pay. After it opened, another flaw showed. The underground sewage system couldn't keep up, and fleets of trucks had to haul waste away, a scene that went viral. Still, Among Dubai's controversial projects, the tower seems almost tame compared to its artificial islands like Palm Jumeirah and the World Islands. But the question remains, did development have to happen this way? A clear counterpoint comes from Singapore. Both cities went from fishing villages to global hubs but took opposite paths. Singapore's growth goes hand in hand with greenery, integrated public transit, park corridors, and smart land use. There's a long-term vision balancing density, services, and livability. In Dubai, the showroom speaks louder. Iconic towers, lavish hotels, and mega-C projects steal the spotlight, while the environment and daily life often take a back seat. The contrast deepens when we look at who builds it all. Both rely on migrant workers, but treatment differs sharply. Singapore enforces clearer rules, fair pay, and safer conditions. Dubai still faces accusations of grueling hours and weak protections. This comparison matters. It's not just about skylines, but about priorities. Before we go on, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. That way, every new chapter reaches you right on time, and none of this journey slips by unnoticed. When we talk about 21st century work, two models stand out: Singapore and Dubai. In Singapore, policies like the Graduated Wage Plan and Skills Future show a clear strategy: make businesses more efficient while improving workers' lives. The country tries to integrate migrants without crushing local labor, balancing duties and protections for both sides. Dubai, on the other hand, shows structural flaws. Among construction workers, especially migrants, wage withholding and binding contracts are common. With no minimum wage law and under the kafala system, bargaining power is minimal and dependence high. In Singapore, knowledge and performance can open real paths to social mobility. In Dubai, climbing up without starting capital is rare. Wealth concentrates among local elites and foreign entrepreneurs drawn by tax perks, while the average immigrant finds few ways up. There are similarities. Tough crime laws make both cities safe. But politically, their paths diverge. Singapore has shades of democracy, though with limits. Dubai, under an autocratic regime, discourages dissent. So be cautious with influencer and celebrity narratives that romanticize the glitter while skipping the backstage. In the end, Dubai is a symbol of our times. Mega projects for the few, built by the many, who vanish from the headlines once the job is done. Thanks for sticking with us this far. If you like this, hit the like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and comment on what you want to see in the next chapter. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's coming. There's a lot of good stuff ahead. See you soon.